All right, 1.5 year anniversary update details. Here we go. I'd like to introduce some of the content ahead of time so players can fully immerse themselves in the 1.5 year anniversary celebrations. One gear of your choice campaign, ultimate weapon gift campaign, a ton of enhancement material gift campaign, 1.5 year anniversary draw tickets 777 gift campaign, cloud exclusive weapon Umbral Blade times 11 gift campaign. Log in to get 777 draws worth of anniversary tickets. As a gift, get anniversary draw tickets, which allow you to perform an anniversary draw, which includes weapons that have been introduced up until January 2025 in the odds. That means up till the Blade of Ruin banner, I guess. Because I doubt the limited weapons. Yeah, it does not include, yeah, there you go. So that'll be up until the Blade of Ruin and the stuff that was just added to the ticket draws today. So they're just ticket pulls. They're nothing crazy. Let's see, get one set of gear, released October 2024 or earlier. In the same fashion as the first anniversary, to celebrate the 1.5 year anniversary, get one set of gear of your choice, selectable from gear that has appeared until a certain period. Gear from previous new weapon feature draw stamp cards and events will be available. Exchange a special event ticket that will be distributed as a gift on the day of the event, March 6th, to obtain the gear. Exchange applies to all gear that was released up until October 30th, so everything before the Final Fantasy VI crossover. I'm gonna be frank about this. I did a full breakdown in Lily's Discord with a whole spreadsheet going over what I thought would be the best gear and stuff. I don't think people actually cared or used it, so I'm not gonna do it again unless people actually want my opinion. If you want my opinion, you can ask. I'm not gonna go through all the effort to do all of that just for it to not be used. Lots of really good gear. I think I've done most of the reviews on these banners since the last one. The ones that immediately come to mind were the Vincent and Yuffie banners that both had really good outfits with Arcanums. Yeah, that'll be cool though, that you just get to pick a gear that you weren't able to get before, so that's nice. Well, okay, log in to receive high damage cloud exclusive weapon Umbral Blade times 11. In order to make your early stages of the game easier to navigate, we will be gifting the 5-star Umbral Blade, new cloud exclusive weapon with an overall high damage ability. 11 copies will be gifted, allowing you to overboost to 5-star or 10 overboost 10. So weapon has an ability that can deal additional damage to all enemies, similar to the C ability of the Bahamut Greatsword. So it's a worse version of the Bahamut Greatsword. Okay, that's still good. For the folks that missed the Bahamut Greatsword, that sword makes clearing the early game content way easier. I think the devs recognize that, both from player feedback and from playing the game themselves. And likely we're just like, hey, if this helps him get through the old stuff faster and lets him enjoy things faster, why don't we just give it to him? And that's what they're doing. So yeah, and the cool thing with Ever Crisis, unlike Rebirth Square, you can just transmog your weapons. So you can have whatever is the best weapons available, and you can transmog it to look whatever you want. That's actually the cool part about Ever Crisis. You can live your fantasy of, you know, dressing the characters and having the skins that you want without having to worry about like min-maxing your DPS and stuff. Log in to get 100 ultimate weapon medals. I mean, cool. That's whatever. I think most people have almost all of these at this point. I think I'm behind like 300 medals total from getting every single one in the shop, because you can get all these medals just from clearing events and clearing EX battles and stuff. So for the folks that haven't been able to, or folks who are just starting the game for the first time, this will get you an ultimate weapon right off the rip, which is dope. Update details. Celebration of the 1.5 anniversary. We hope for this update to improve and create a more exciting experience both for long-time and new-time players, as well as those who have not played Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis for a long time. Given that new abilities and playable characters have been added since the first anniversary, as well as new ways to attack, we plan to offer even more exciting content for our players to enjoy. We're planning to add new contents not only at the time of anniversaries, but also on a regular basis. In order to ensure that both long-time and new-time players, as well as those who have not played Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis for a long time, will not lose the means to play the game. We will ease the opportunity to obtain past limited weapons. What does that mean? They're going to make them more available? Also, Overspeed will be implemented as a new feature that will provide a new battle experience and a means of attack other than obtaining weapons from draws. Okay. In addition, in a similar fashion to first anniversary, numerous items will be improved and modified. Further details listed below. New item, Reawakened Limit Break Draw Ticket Fragment. In response to player feedback asking for the opportunity to obtain limit break weapons. So this is in response to all the emails that have been sent to the support team. In response to player feedback asking for the opportunity to obtain limit break weapons that appeared in the past, and for those who are starting or resuming the game, we will create an opportunity to obtain past limit break weapons as a secondary item when performing draws. In future draws with stamp cards and certain special draws, Reawakened Limit Break Draw Ticket Fragment ×1 will be available for each draw performed via the 10 draw button. Reawakened Limit Break Draw Ticket Fragment ×10 can be exchanged for Reawakened Limit Break Draw Ticket 1. A Reawakened Limit Break Draw ticket can be used to perform one Reawakened Limit Break ticket draw. To be absolutely frank, you will not be able to choose. Yeah, I can tell you that right now. It's gonna be a pull, and you are going to pull the weapon you don't need. That's what's gonna happen. I'll tell you right now. The odds of a Reawakened Limit Break draw will be updated once upon a certain period of time is surpassed after the introduction of a new Limit Break weapon. The planned odds for the first appearance of the Limit Break draw will include the Limit Break weapons Stream Saber, Stream Slasher, Stream Guard, Protector's Blade, White Dog, and Tranquility. That's up till Angeal's Limit Break weapon. Limit Break weapons the first appeared and will be added around July. Okay, there you go. I mean, look, here's the reality, right? Of all of these weapons, right? The ones that are listed here, the ones that are still good are the Stream Saber, which is Cloud's ice weapon, the Stream Slasher, I think. Was it Stream Slasher or Stream Guard? I don't remember which one was I think it was Stream Slasher, was Glenn's. The water one. The water one's still relevant. The Stream Guard, I believe, is Zach's fire weapon, which is completely outclassed by just Fire Tifa in general. If you pulled for if you pulled for the New Year's Tifa banner, if you pulled for the Arcanum for Fire Tifa, that immediately outclassed the Zach one, like instantly. Zach still has the ability to do some decent damage, but unless they give him some help, most of his banners have been physical focused. So having a magic attack doesn't really do him a lot of good. And the Protector's Blade for Sephiroth is okay, but the anniversary weapons that were released are better non-elemental weapons, both by the effect that they provide and for the damage that they deal. So those four weapons are largely outclassed in general, but at least Stream Saber and Stream Slasher still have some use because Cloud and Glenn both have the ability to buff that elemental damage. White Dog, obviously still one of the best earth weapons in the game in terms of just earth DPS in general. And Tranquility is actually one of Angeal's better weapons and one of the best water weapons in the game as well. Doesn't get a huge water damage buff, and obviously he doesn't have the ability to buff his own water DPS just yet, which is what makes him fall behind the likes of like Sephiroth, Yuffie, even the recent Yuffie banner, right? And then Glenn as well. But does have Provoke, does have Veil, really, really good water DPS. Physical attack all allies. It's a very good weapon for Angeal, so if you got that, it's not that big of a deal. But of these 6 weapons, if you don't have them, having one copy is good just for sub weapons, right? Because it gives the all allies effect. So if you didn't get a chance to pull on the half anniversary weapons from last year, those are still good to have one copy of. If you do have one copy of all of these draws are going to be hit and miss. And considering you have to spend 30,000 crystals to get one of the draws, that's kind of, you know, it's better than nothing. I'm probably going to be the one that's the most pessimistic about this. I imagine most of the content creators you see on Never Crisis on YouTube are probably going to be, you know, applauding this because it's at least a step in the right direction, and it is, to be true, or to be fair. But I'm not in the right headspace for this right now, to be blunt. So for me personally, I think only having those in there is kind of a miss. They're saying that these were recently released, the ones in the first anniversary. That's 6 months ago by the time this comes out, like 6 full calendar months. I disagree. Let's just be blunt. I disagree. Because I think, didn't Tranquility come out after the first anniversary? Because Angeal came out in October, right? So how is this not newly introduced? Oh, because they have been reawakened. My asshole, right? Like, whatever. That's ridiculous. Very few people pulled on the Reawakened banners, I imagine. But that's fine. Battle Tower Singularity, the Maelstrom Tower, Rampage of Ruin, a new one. Rampage of Ruin. Total blue crystal 13,000 will be available for clearing all the content. In addition, a new item, Weapon Voucher Limit Break, will be available as an additional quest. This new item, Limit Break Voucher LB, can be exchanged for a selection of certain Limit Break weapons that have appeared in the past. I imagine this will be the same as these if I had to hedge a bet. For the folks that are interested in my thoughts on this, I have a spreadsheet that's got all of the weapons in tier list order. I would just look at that and make your decision that way. I don't feel any particular way about any of these weapons except for maybe White Dog, right? I think out of these options, I think White Dog is the far and away the strongest, especially because Vincent recently got a weapon that increases his earth damage. So that just increased the White Dog DPS even higher. So food for thought. It's still very, very strong, likely will be very, very strong for a long time. The other weapons are all just, they're fine. They work, they're function, they're good. Escalation Challenge, Odin. We're pleased to announce the Escalation Challenge, content that allows users to select any level and challenge themselves. Escalation challenges are high difficulty content that challenge the player to see how a high level you can clear while the escalation level increases with each boss that is defeated. The higher the escalation level, the more the enemy stats increase. You can earn a first clear reward for clearing each level. Content will be updated monthly after the 1.5 year anniversary. The event and content are subject to change without notice. Cool. That'll be interesting. New ability and feature Overspeed and Roll Stream. We are pleased to announce a new feature, Overspeed, which offers a new battle experience. Overspeed O ability is a new ability that becomes available after a certain amount of time in battle. The effects vary depending on the role assigned to each character and are designed to further enhance each character's characteristics. There will be 4 types of roles: attacker, tank, supporter, and healer. Following characters correspond to each role: attacker, Cloud, Tifa, Yuffie, Vincent, Zack, Sephiroth; tank, Barrett, Glenn, and Gilles. Interesting. Supporter, Kate, Sith, Sid, and Lucia. Healer, Aerith, Red 13, and Matt. That's hilarious to me that Red 13's listed as a healer, because Red 13 only just recently got an AoE heal with Pilot Scholar. I guess he had the AoE regen. I don't know if I would count that as a healer, but that's fine. We will adjust the performance and balance of the characters. Whoa. We will adjust the performance and balance of the characters in the future according to these roles. Interesting. Interesting. So that just means that they're going to release weapons with these characters with their roles in mind, right? They were already doing this anyways, truth be told. But characters like Aerith, as examples, like got a lot of damage weapons, but it didn't really like fit with the rest of her kit, right? Like even though Prism Rod is good, Egg Staff is good, right? She's got a couple really good elemental weapons, but like she really doesn't want to be in that role, really. Like she can be, but she doesn't really want to be. So it's interesting to see if what they'll do going forward. I guess they'll just continue. I don't know. I liked the fact that all of the characters were getting like different things that they could do. I like that they could fill different roles. I guess there might be some folks that prefer them to just like stay in the niche and just be very, 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 very good at what they do. Okay, O ability effects are as follows. Attacker. When using an attacker's O ability, ATP gauge consumption is reduced and attack is increased for a certain period of time. That's really cool. When using a tanker's O ability, ATP consumption is reduced. That's going to be it for all of them. And defense is increased. Supporter is the number of destroyed sigils is increased for a period of time. Okay. And then ATP consumption is reduced and healing potency is increased for a period of time. Okay. So yeah, I mean, obviously they're gonna balance content around this now, right? So I'm not gonna comment on whether or not I think what's gonna be the most useful or not, because I think it'd be ignorant to. They're gonna balance the game around these new abilities, but that'll be interesting. Oh Jesus, you can oh God. You can unlock and enhance Overspeed and Roll Stream from Growth character. In addition to O abilities, the Roll Stream can extend specialized effects and stats for each role, such as attack, defense, buff, debuff, effect duration, and healing potency. Interesting. Okay, we'll have to see that when it gets released next week then. All right, so for a 1.5 year anniversary, limited time gear, Cape of the Worthy. So it's boost attack all allies and then boost fire, ice, lightning, earth, water, and wind ability damages. It's going to be the same as Tifa's. So I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be just as good as Tifa's. I'll tell you right now. The only reason that it's like marginally weaker is because boost attack all allies is not a great R ability. It adds a little bit of extra oomph on top, but it doesn't really matter all that much. The defensive having a defensive portion of it tends to matter more at the higher level of difficulty in Ever Crisis. And as we continue to progress in the game, those defensive R abilities are going to matter more, right? As the power creep continues to increase. That said, I think that this is a direct result of this, right? They're saying they're adjusting performance and balance of characters in the future according to these roles. Sephiroth is an attacker, so they gave him an attacker R ability. That's what it reads to me. Could be wrong, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but estimates of the Worthy line will have 4 sets of gear in total. Please wait for a separate notice regarding further details. They'll probably post the New Year's inspired by Odin. Yeah, interesting. Very Norse mythology, right? That'll be fun to see. I'll be blunt. If this is 30% damage like the Tifa one, I don't really care what the other 3 sets are going to be. This is probably going to be the best outfit. Sephiroth has high DPS weapons in a lot of these elements, like nearly all of them. I think the only one that he doesn't is lightning, right? Because he's got one in fire, he's got one in ice, he's got one in earth, he's got one in water. He's actually got multiple in water, and he's got one in wind. Yeah, this is like a slam dunk. Commemorative event, Odin, Vanquisher of Souls. According to the Nibelheim legend, it is said that Odin stands guard at the gates to the land of the dead. Defeat the god who has battled warriors for millennia, searching for a worthy challenger and escaped from the realm of the dead. Dope. Oh my god, they're adding the sigil breaks to elemental. That's interesting. New materia Quake Cross and Quake Blow Cross will be added. The recipe for these new materia can be obtained as rewards from the seasonal event exchange. In addition, the new Escalation challenge offers newly added 5-star materia as a reward for first clear for certain levels. New materia recipes will be added in the future seasonal events as they become available. The Quake Cross recipe and Quake Blow Cross recipe will appear in the medal exchange after a certain period of time after the seasonal event ends. Okay. This is kind of judging based on what the substats are here, right? This is largely a continuation of the materia recipes that we got for the Final Fantasy VI crossover, right? Where they added elemental potency to the substats. I will say that unless those ceilings for those stats increased for these two, I will say that those materia, at least by me, I don't know if this is the case for everybody else, I have never used those materia. I have multiple 5-star copies of those materia, and the substats rolled so low that they are largely unusable in the upper echelon content. For things like the damage challenge, like the max damage challenge, maybe the extra potency matters a little bit more. But generally speaking, the extra 3% potency that you're getting from one of these materia doesn't make up for the fact that you're losing out on 7 or 8% of magic attack or physical attack, whatever your character needs. So hopefully that's different. It does look like this is going to be a permanent addition based on the wording here, because they said it's going to be in the medal exchange afterwards. Where the other ones, it was over. You can't make the elemental potency substat materias from Final Fantasy VI anymore, right? And these are going to have sigil breaks on them, which is the first time ever. No elemental materials had sigil break on it before. So that might mean, or likely will mean, that the damage from these materials will likely be lower as a result. So keep that in mind as you're going into it. Not that it matters all that much. I don't think most of us use these materials for damage anymore anyways, outside of on our healers or our supports. But the non-sigil breaking ruin does a significant amount extra damage more than the sigil break counterparts, and I would expect these elemental versions to do the same. Following is a list of improvements and modifications to be made to the system. Materia modification. Certain aspects of the material function will be improved. The modifications are as follows. Addition of synthesize all, thank God. Maximum limit of the material inventory will be expanded to 1,500. I haven't even gotten past 200, so certain aspects of battle ranking content function will be improved upon. The modifications are as follows. Addition of score attack, which aims solely at the rankings. Addition of the button to reach the max stage level at once. Addition of retry buttons. Cool. Ranking screen adjustments, that's fine. Exploration content and rewards of the season pass will be improved upon. Exploration content will be improved and rewards adjusted to match the current bank balance. I imagine this means mithril ore is about to be added. Maybe ingots will be added to the season pass. We'll have to wait and see. I imagine this will be included in the update that's coming out in just a couple of days. I think the season pass ends on Friday, so we'll have to take a look. Skill shop giant adjustments, probably again more mithril ores, mithril ingots maybe. Daily and weekly missions will be updated. This is super needed. The mission stuff that we're getting, the rewards that we're getting, are largely just not useful. But premium quests for level cap and character memories, huh? That's a first. I wonder why. Maybe to help people get them faster. New general missions will be added. New missions will be completed by clearing coliseums. By completing missions, you'll earn a large amount of character memories and pieces. Players who have already cleared the relevant coliseum and chosen floors can also earn mission rewards. Greater power branding stones, greater magic branding stones, and greater stamina branding stones will be added to the ultimate metals exchange. This is for the people who already have all the ultimate weapons. Guide mission content and mission rewards will be revised and improved upon. Players who have already completed the guide missions will also receive rewards for the newly added. Overall unlock conditions will be adjusted so that various features can be unlocked earlier. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's gonna be good. It looks like it's gonna be good. Unsurprising, usually the anniversary events are the most fun events of the year. Obviously, Ever Crisis has the benefit of also having really cool collaborations, like the Monster Hunter event, the Final Fantasy 6 and 9 collaborations, etc. So there's been a lot more reasons to be hyped throughout the year with Ever Crisis versus other mobile games that I've played. But pretty fun. That's exciting. Really quickly, I'm gonna touch on this banner just so fast. If you don't have the Bahamut rod, it's the best healing weapon in the game. It's very, very good. Getting one copy of this has been very, very important. So if you haven't gotten this already, I would suggest pulling at least once to try to get a copy of this. Having an All Asuna, it has not been reintroduced in the game since then. It's been almost 6 months. So likely that we'll see it again soon because they usually don't keep this exclusive forever. But we haven't seen it since, so it has been almost 6 months. This is a very strong weapon. It's got an offensive R ability with a good boost heal, really good heal stat at OB10. And this affects the ability to add an ATB gauge. While it's mostly irrelevant if you don't have OB10, because usually even at OB6, she's got to be at 70% or less HP. And that's not generally happening outside of the biggest damage dealing quest. But outside of the biggest damage dealing quest, you're usually not healing. So if you get it to OB6, it's great. If you have it at anything less than OB6, it's just okay, right? It's a 40% at OB0 and it's 50% at OB1, which is fine. But again, it's just not as spammable as it is at the higher overboost levels, right? 90% is very easy to dip underneath. And so that really does increase your overall DPS. But the reason why you get this is because it's a really good defense increase. It's got a really good heal. It's got really great R abilities for magic damage focused teams. It's got really great materia slots. This is just an all around very good weapon. Her outfit again also just is generically very good. Gives really good defensive R abilities with 20% physical and magic defense and a 10% healing potency, just making her all around tankier. Yeah, just all around just very, very strong. And then the Yuffie weapon remains the highest non-elemental physical damage weapon in the game. The only downside to it is that you have to get it to a pretty high overboost level for it to reach that level, to reach the levels that you would need to get to that damage. You have to really get to OB6, because at OB1 and higher, it's good, but not necessarily better than something you probably already have, right? So a lot of even the previous gacha weapons can reach these levels relatively easily, right? Because remember that it's only adding an extra 30%, which increases it to 845, which again is high. 845% damage is big. And the AoE magic defense increase is the reason why it's very good. But I mean, Apocalypse, the Cloud Sword that has existed in the game since day one, is 940% for physical non-elemental, right? And also has decent R abilities. So it's something that you would have to invest in pretty heavily, much like the Bahamut Rod. And if you're having to choose between the two, the Bahamut Rod for me is the clear choice. Non-elemental damage is just not as important in Ever Crisis. Hasn't been, probably never will be. That said, this ability itself is very, very strong. Being able to increase your magic defense while also dealing DPS is also very, very strong. So it's a very good weapon. If you do end up pulling a copy of it, there's nothing wrong with that. Her offensive outfit, again, is fine. It's good. Physical attack plus 5%, physical ability damage plus 10%. Both of those are fine. The reality is that her most recently released banners have mostly been better. She has so many Arcanum outfits and possibilities now. It's nice to have an outfit that's just for generic physical attack. But her kit has been largely mixed in terms of she's getting physical and magic. So I think you would find that you're not getting the best bang for your buck with this outfit in particular. Outside of that one scenario that you need a non-elemental damage dealer to do big non-elemental damage, right? So if that's something that you need, go for it. If you're interested in hearing my thoughts and full feedback on it, I do have full pull or skip videos on YouTube already. You're more than welcome to watch it back, see what you think. Like I said, none of these weapons, none of these Reawakened banner weapons are bad at all. They're all good. They all still have use in the game. They're all still used today and likely still will be used for a while. But them for me, it's the same thing as the last time, right? It's the whole like not being able to put them on wish list for other limited banners, having to have its own separate banner. You're not pulling on these are bait, right? If unless you really need the Bahamut rod and you never got the Bahamut rod, you can pull on it once just to get a copy. But like this new stuff that's about to release is probably going to be just as strong, if not stronger. So I would just hang tight. Again, outside of the Bahamut rod, I would try to grab the Bahamut rod quickly if you can. Hopefully you can just get a 3 or 4 star copy and up it with weapon parts, right? But yeah, that's where I'm at with those.